Jolean Thorton here, and welcome back to my show, Jolean Does It. Now, on today's show, I am doing a top 10 countdown of the scariest moments in horror films for myself. Because as y'all know, I love my horror films. I do a lot of spoofs on them. Make sure you check them out. Yeah, I thought I'd just do my countdown of the top 10 that still haunt me to this day. And I ain't talking about finding out when you're pregnant again with twins. Alright, so number 10 on the list is a movie from 1983 called The Final Terror. Now, the movie stars, it was Daryl Hannah's first movie, and Rachel Ward's in it, and this is when they were first starting out acting. They were actually roommates, and the hottie little patati, Adrian Zmed, is in it, and also, what's that guy's name? Oh, he was in The Sopranos. Anywho, he plays, it's a bunch of people that go on a camping trip in the woods, go rafting, and this weird guy called Edgar drives them there in the bus. And anyways, alright, spoiler alert. These are all going to be spoilers, but check out the films, whatever. You find out the killer is actually his mother, and it was at this, whatever. Anyhow, while they're in the woods, and the mother lives in the woods, and she's like a wild woman, and there's a scene, and it's so beautiful, where they're all rafting down the rapids, and people have already been killed, and you see the mossy rocks on the side, and all of a sudden, as they're going, one of the moss clumps moves, and crawls off the rock. I was horrified. Just horrified. Oh! Anyway, the movie still scares me, and I think it's coming out on Blu-ray too. So I'm excited to see it on a good transfer because it's a great movie. So make sure you check it out. Joe Pantoliano, that's the guy that plays Edgar. And now for number 9, it's a movie from 2005 called The Descent. And it's about these group of gals from like Ireland, England, and America, and they go to the Appalachian Mountains to go go in the caves. They're going in the caves to do some searching around with their headlights and everything. And at the beginning you see that Shauna McDonald that plays the lead gal, she lost her baby and her husband, her little girl, in a horrible accident. It's a year later. Anyways, they go descending into the caves, and one of the other girls tricked them because it's a cave that's not known, and they go in. And you find out that there are these things living down there that attack them, big fight, lots of blood, girls trying to survive. Awesome, awesome movie! I loved it, loved it, loved it. But the scariest scene in it is actually before they see the monsters. And they're crawling through like one of the wormholes, and they have to go up underneath the water. And it's so claustrophobic! And it's kind of like when you're in quicksand and you're in a tight hole trying to crawl through this cave or whatever, and you start struggling, you get stuck even more, and it is horrifying because the way the guy filmed it is just, whoa. And her friend comes back and says, like, the worst thing that's already that can happen to you has already happened. Come on, Sarah. Sarah, that's her name. And the character. And she ends up crawling out, and then they meet up with the creatures, and most of them die and whatever. But it's that claustrophobic scene. It is so intense, y'all. Y'all just have to check it out. Alright, and now, number 8 on the list. From 1978, one of the greatest horror movies of all time that helped start a bunch of slasher flicks, Haloween. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasant, she's a babysitter, and the killer goes after her after he killed his family, and ends up being his sister, blah, whatever. Yeah, because a lot of these horror films are like family involved, so that's why I'm scared of my family, my kids grow up. Anywho, the scariest scene is so creepy because Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie Strode in it, is in the house across the street while she's babysitting to look for her friends that are supposed to be babysitting over there. But they're actually having sex and getting killed. Go figure. And anywho, it's when she's up in one of the bedrooms, and it's dark, and she sees, I think, the body on the bed of her friend with a tombstone, and she's backing up against the dark closet, and all of a sudden, and it's like, I read that it was like one of the easiest, but one of the scariest scenes that's ever been filmed, and all they did was, the guy that plays Michael Myers, not Captain Kirk, and that's an inside joke if you know horror films. And she's backing up and going, and it's all of a sudden it's quiet. And in the dark shadow of the closet door that's open, all of a sudden Michael Myers' mask just kind of peeps through and it's illuminated. And it is so freaking creepy. Just creepy. Ah! Number 7! Woo woo! Okay, another one of those classic horror movies that spawned a ton of sequels and remakes and blah 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 whatever. Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. Starring a young Heather Langenkamp, Robert Englund, and Johnny Depp. Anywho, one of the scariest scenes in that, to me anyways, and it just haunts me, and that's why I kind of have a little bit of a fear of midgets. That's why I'm glad one of my kids was a midget. Helped me get over that fear. Man, she's a sweetheart. Wild weekend at the circus. Anywho, and it's when her friend, Nancy's friend, Amanda Wiss, she's running in her dream world, and she's running from Freddy Krueger, but it's coming down the hallway. The alleyway, and she's running from him, and she looks back, and he's coming at her, but he's this, like, little wiry guy, but he's all dark, and he just has his fingernails, and he's like, and running after her. It's so freaking frightening, y'all. I got all wild of a clamp just talking about it, but yeah, check it out, and it's like one of the craziest moments to me in horror movies. So, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, check it out. We're down to number 6, and it's a movie from 1963, and it's shot in black and white, called The Haunting. And it's based on a book, I think it's called The Haunting of Hill House or something like that, and a lot of people have done variations of the movie, and they're all really good. But this one, The Haunting, that stars Julie Harris and Claire Bloom, as Nell and Theo, and that's these investigators going to this haunted house, and it's haunted. But one of the most frightening things, I remember seeing it, and I nearly pissed my Tuesday panties watching it, is when it's at night and they're in the room together, and all of a sudden the walls start banging, and it's just these shots of the door, and the walls, and the chandelier, and them and bang on it. And it's go bang, 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 bang! It's so crazy and frightening, y'all. Oh, I couldn't sleep for like 3 nights after that. And like I said, I wet my Tuesday panties. So anyways, yeah, The Haunting from 1963. Check it out. It's creepy.